Time now for Sid Cicero. This is where you have 60 seconds to talk about stuff. Start the clock, please. Here's what's on my mind this morning. The fact that Canada's men's soccer program made the World Cup last year was a massive accomplishment, obviously, but not everything went to plan. Canada played 3 games, lost them all, and some individuals came up really short. Jonathan David, honestly, was one of them. Canada's undisputed #1 striker scored, let me count, 0 goals to go with 0 assists in 3 games over in Qatar. He was disappointed. So were Canadian soccer fans. But a quick look at what he's doing in France right now would suggest, like Taylor Swift, he has shaken it off. David, with his club team in Lille, has 3 goals in his last 4 games, just like that, and looks fantastic. So good, in fact, his name continues to be in the rumor mill regarding players who might be moved during this January transfer window in Europe. He has been linked, for the record, to some of the biggest leagues in the world. At some point, failure comes for all of us. How we deal with it is what defines us. And this kid got up off the mat pretty quick, and it's good to see. 23 years old. He's important for Canada. James Sharman from the Room 442 and Footy Prime, the podcast, joining us. Sharms, honestly, I was a little worried at what I saw from David in that World Cup. Now, it's a big stage. I get it, young player, yada, yada, yada. What did you make of his tournament, and what do you make of his reaction off the tournament?
Yeah, you know, the tournament was odd. He wasn't great, let's be honest here. And I think we're at a point now in Canadian soccer where we can call out a player for not being too good during a big tournament. Obviously, huge occasion. Also, they played, 3 very, very good teams, with respect to Belgium, who weren't obviously great in the tournament overall, some issues there. But they were very, very good defensive teams in Croatia and Morocco, who dealt with him very, very well. As for the reaction, yeah, not that surprised. This guy's been doing it for several seasons now. He's got 12 on the campaign, one of the highest scoring players in all of Europe, the first foreign player to hit 40 goals overall for Lille. Like you mentioned, he's 23, he's young, he's still learning his trade. So I'm not concerned about the performance of the World Cup, and not surprised he's bounced back. He's a very, very good striker.
Do you think this move will happen? There's only a few days left in this January window. This is the big month where players can move in soccer, just for people not familiar. He's been linked to a lot of English clubs for a long time. I'm kind of surprised, considering how much money's been spent in England, that this hasn't already happened. What do you think the next move is for him?
Yeah, there's a logjam with strikers right now, it seems. They're worth the most money, as simple as that. And you don't often see that many big moves in January. There's been a couple so far, but usually in the summertime is when the big moves really happen. He said before the Premier League is his future destination. He's always been very strategic, Sid, where he goes, from going to Ghent in Belgium to Lille, stepping stones. But now it's the big move. And there were some big clubs mentioned earlier in the window with Manchester United, Arsenal perhaps, in England. Even Real Madrid at one point were mentioned in Spain. I think the next move will be a big club, but it won't be till the summertime, and around about the $50 million range. That's what we're talking about with John David right now. But way more options once the summer happens. Listen, a team could panic and make a move before the window closes next week. But at the moment, I think you'll wait to the summertime for that move to England.
It's going to happen eventually, just a matter of where and when. Sharms, appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Good stuff.
Thanks,
Have a good weekend.